Okay. We're back. Okay. Should be back up here in a second. I just click on that. Okay. Sorry about that. You know, for 90.
Hold on. Wait.
No, we're good. We're good. See how you can see it. You see the road thing is moving?
Yeah.
That's not bad for 90 podcasts until we had a technical issue where we had to cut it live. All right.
Sorry about that.
All right, we're back. I will explain that issue in a second. First, I want to go back to what this little device is. I guess people couldn't hear what we were saying. Welcome back, everybody. We had a quick little technical issue. We're back now. Streaming software got updated, and I had to reconfigure some things. This is what happens when we produce this show ourselves. First, what I was saying, no one could hear me, was we're doing something we've never done on the show, and Andy's making some cocktails.
Yeah.
And I got into this question of like, what is
I don't
that
know.
thing?
It's a long spoon.
Does it have an actual name?
I'm sure people, but like if you have like a big decanter and you're mixing it can be helpful. But I was going to say, I saw some videos online. Like if you're making a cocktail with like some type of carbonated beverage, you dump it down this and it like swirls around it.
You dump the carbonated beverage down it?
Yeah.
And what's the,
it looks cool, I guess. I don't know.
is there like, does it like make it less carbonated?
Probably.
It probably would, right?
I guess.
And then my last question was what? Oh,
this is
just
no, this is a muddler.
That's the actual. Oh, that's okay.
That's a muddler.
But this device is not called a muddler.
No, I don't know what the hell this is called, but this is a muddler on the end of it.
So what are we making?
We're gonna make a play on an old fashioned.
Okay.
But instead of like a sugar base, instead of like regular sugar to sweeten it, we're gonna use maple syrup from Wishwell Farms from Jason Wish.
Oh, shout out to Jason Wish.
Yeah, and instead of using like a typical,
that's gotta be old.
That stuff doesn't go bad.
Maple syrup doesn't go bad.
I don't think so. We'll
find out.
And then we're using instead of like
you've been using it. Okay.
Yeah, instead of like some more of the common bitters that people use, we're gonna use black walnut bitters. So
is that really good. Like I've heard of black walnut bitters? Is that like a fancier? Like why would you use black walnut bitters?
Flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that like
I like
walnut flavor.
Yeah, it's nutty. It's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like a wood flavor.
No.
All right, everybody. I was gonna title this one the World War III live stream, but after consulting with various sources, that apparently was insensitive. So we're talking about is the world ending? I got a bunch of current events, like backpacking current events, and then we can talk about what's happening in the world right now. But we haven't streamed in a while. Has it been? I guess the Omicron variant live stream was the last one. What's the that's on the table. Like what's the recipe here? So you just put in some maple syrup.
Yeah, just a spoonful of maple syrup, which is probably like a half tablespoon, 3 dashes of bitters, 2 ounces of whiskey, bourbon, whatever.
Is an old fashioned technically whiskey?
Whiskey or rye or bourbon. Okay. I think more commonly it's rye actually.
Okay.
2 ounces of that. And then I'll show you. I use cherries. A lot of people like a traditional one doesn't.
You have those fancy ones, right?
$20 a jar.
$20 a jar.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they so expensive?
I don't know. They're like candied. They're really, really well made. And it's not like some crappy cherry that you get.
Should we use better bourbon?
Nah, it's fine. Oh, this is the 8. This is the.
We're using so like 3 years ago at the last Ohio YouTube meetup, before the world ended initially, we won a Trammy, a trail Grammy, but that doesn't make sense because we're not music artists. Anyway, we won an award from All Things Outdoors, and it had been hanging up on the wall behind us for like 2 years, and it's finally time to drink it. So 2 ounces. So is that technically what's a drink? Is it a drink like an ounce and a half?
Yeah.
So this is like a little bit more.
Yeah, I find for our level of drinking,
yeah, we need a little more. We'll bring your guys.
Two ounces.
Pass me the ice cube. Also, I got a shout out. We got some fancy ice cube molds, courtesy of a guy named Haywood Jublomi. who's he's called into the podcast.
That's what he goes by
a few times. That's what I call him. He gave me some. This is pretty cool. Pop one out. They're melting.
Yeah.
These are from Williams Sonoma. It's like a big like a diamond mold for ice. So I can't put these in yet, right? You got to. So the technical thing is you make the drink. Should you have a shaker?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you could make it in a decanter, but they're stirred, not shaken.
Okay, Mr. Bond. He's shaken, not stirred. James Bond is shaken, not stirred.
Well, maybe for what he drinks.
These are cool though. Yeah. All right, so we got these fancy, nice diamond. I'm putting this in because it's melting. Diamond ices. Those are cool. So this is a pretty classy drink here.
Yeah, it's good.
And do you know like what's the history behind this drink?
This is not a historical drink. I mean, obviously an old fashioned has some pretty strong history.
What's the history there?
I don't know. It dates. They found it in some recipe books, like in the 1800s, I think.
Old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of syrup in those.
That's kind of the thing.
What's the name of these cherries again? Luxardo.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
The grocery store.
Yeah, but
I don't know.
All right. If you can see these are like really fancy. Italy, I knew it. I was like, it's got to be European.
Yeah.
Because they're weighed in grams. So made in Italy. This is $20.
Yeah. And well worth it, by the way.
It smells good.
I don't make cocktails like this. Lasts a long time, and then you.
All right, what's the last thing happening here?
Espresso.
So this is a orange peel.
Yeah, some citrus.
So you don't. Okay, so and then you go around.
Yeah, and put some oils on top of it, and then some people will discard that. I'll just add it.
No, I like it.
Yeah,
I like how you brought enough to make two, because we're gonna have two.
Yeah.
Okay. And is this a common drink you make, right?
That I make?
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Next question. What's the difference between this and a Manhattan?
I don't know.
But is a Manhattan's a bourbon drink, right?
Like a whiskey drink, and then I think it uses I don't know. I don't know. It's a different, instead of bitters, I think you use like I forget what that spirit is called. I don't know.
Our dad's getting a lot of shout outs in the chat. Sorry, I will go through the chat here. We got a lot of things to discuss. It's been, I don't know, a month or two since we've been live.
Here.
World War III. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right. That's good. That's strong.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
good? Strong. It's very good. I like a good old fashioned. I like the orange.
That's not. I mean, this is not.
And
this is not an old fashioned. It's like an old fashioned.
I really like the maple syrup.
Yeah,
I can taste that.
And this is Ohio, like I said.
Hey, who's making maple syrup right now?
Yeah, I know.
Our dad. We got so if you're watching this like in the past, we got a really warm spell going on right now in Ohio. Like it's 70 degrees, and you got to scroll up.
I know. I was just seeing.
And on like the first warm day of spring, that's classically when the maple syrup taps hit. So our dad was out there making some. Okay, so we got a bunch of current events. We'll talk about some upcoming podcast stuff. We got some new stuff sent to us. First off, all right,
we got the hookup on something new coming too.
Yeah, we did.
We can't talk about it.
Why not?
Yet. Because they're gonna give us information on like.
But we can talk about what the product is.
Yeah, we're getting a hammock,
and not any hammock.
Mm-hmm. We're getting an updated.
Dutchware is updating the Banyan Bridge hammock, and I never thought we would make it to this circle of hammock camping that companies would like reach out to us before a thing was released and be like, "Hey, we want you to test it out." Somehow we got that now. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So Dutch is sending us. He has a new Banyan hammock and a new tarp.
It's not. Yeah. I don't know when the Banyan's coming out, but
do you know when we're getting it?
It's gonna be a little bit.
Really? Mm-hmm. So we got that coming. I mean, we're not gonna talk about this, but Greenbelly. So Greenbellies sent us these.
You know, and I must say, like, I really did like those Greenbelly meals. They were good.
They have their place.
Yeah.
So Greenbelly, they make like these like bars that are meant to be like whole meals. Like they're like really big and caloric, and they actually taste pretty good. And they have their place. I will say, it's easy to like poo-poo like a meal in a bar, but like when you're hiking and stuff, it is nice. I mean, we ate them all and we like them. So anyway, they came out with basically like a Huel. Have you seen the Huel or a Soylent?
For all intents and purposes, it's a protein shake.
It's a meal replacement shake, but like more than just protein. So we obviously this is not even opened, but they sent us this.
They make a vegan one as well, or a vegan one. And this one's not.
I just did the math. This bag that weighs 2.6 pounds. Guess how many calories are in it?
How many servings?
15 servings.
15 times 400?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is that? 20,000?
Be 6,000.
Where the hell did I get money?
10 times 400 is 4,000. So anyway, this bag is 6,000 calories. It's really not that much when you think about it.
That's one day of like intense.
No. It's like 2 days. Yeah. Anyway, they sent us this. We got sent some other stuff too.
So 2 days for 2 days. Let's say like survival.
I don't think
I wouldn't want to eat that.
I don't think this is like every single meal you're supposed to eat this.
No,
but 400 calories. 22 grams of fat, 26 grams of carbohydrate, 27 grams of protein. It's not bad. And it's got vitamin C. It's got stuff. Anyway, we just got this. We haven't tried it yet, but we got more stuff coming too. Bunch of random things. But
I like Green Belly. They're a cool company.
Yeah, they are a cool company, and they're like, like American made, and they're like the guy who founded it was like a big hiker and stuff, and like it's good. So we'll try that out. We're not gonna try it on the stream. We probably should. It's probably good, right? What's the flavor? Vanilla. They call them mud meals. Haven't you seen these meal replacements like Soylent?
Yeah.
Or Huel? Do you get the Huel ones? Mm-mm. I get the Huel ads.
No.
Huel all the time. Anyway, we got that. We got a new hammock. There's some other things that are coming our way. We're still using the new packs. So there's here's the deal. Last like month and a half, we haven't been doing a ton of backpacking. Well, I guess a month because we went a month ago.
Yeah.
And we're going to go. We got some stuff coming up in the spring, but like right now, as we kind of call it shoulder season. Like although today is 70 degrees, it would have been great to backpack today, but it's,
well, there's a lot of life events going on right now too. Like you were traveling.
I'm traveling. It's just like the mid-February to mid-March time. It's like not a great time to backpack. So that's why you haven't seen us, but we're like, there's so much going on.
I know.
I just go home from work and I watch the war.
I know.
We're going to get there. We will go through the comments. I always say that, and we never do, but I swear we will. We did have some audio issues. I had to cut the streaming software updated because we haven't streamed it so long. The streaming software updated and it like wiped the audio input.
Speaking of system updates, do you watch Space Force?
No, is it good?
Yeah.
Really?
It's hilarious.
I watched the first season.
Well, there's I don't want to do a spoiler, but like
that
a bunch
dry humor.
Yeah, but there's like some satellites that go down because Microsoft had to update.
Oh, really? That's like part of the plot. Yeah. That's pretty funny, actually. All right, let's do this. We got our dads in here. We got a bunch of people. I'm not going to call. DBT's here.
Mm-hmm. I've been watching it. I've been watching his runs on Strava.
Hope your cocktails don't have technical issues. Yeah, follow us on Strava, by the way, if you want to see what we're up to endurance-wise. We got a new race coming up in under 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you shooting? I don't think the time I wanted to go for is feasible.
I'm aiming for a 7:45.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
That's like a 140.
Yeah.
You think you can do that?
I've been holding like 7:37, but not up to the half.
How long have you held that for?
10.
Oh, you're going to do that then. The only thing that could screw you is if it's hot.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
You did 10 miles at 7:47? I did not see that on Strava.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good for you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to lift more. You're getting too fast. There's no reason to be that fast.
I know. Like true.
There's no reason to run that fast.
I ran 8 this morning at a 7:30 something, and after I got done with that, I felt like complete crap.
That's tough, man.
Yeah, and I was just like, is it really worth it? Like, I'm only doing it because I'm bored, and I want to set new like challenges.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
but you can do other challenges outside of running.
Yeah, but I mean, I've been.
They call that a swizzle spoon from the chat.
Okay.
I think I've heard that term before.
Yeah. No, I've been spending a lot more time on my Peloton.
Good. I'm thinking about buying their stock. Their stock's in the crapper.
I know.
Did you see they hired the either the CFO of Spotify?
Really?
Peloton did, yeah. Like a subscription-based service, I get it.
Yeah.
Swizzle spoon, interesting. I still would like to know why you're supposed to pour carbonated stuff down
I don't know.
it.
Google it. I don't know. I see people do it. Maybe it's just a cool trick that looks cool at a bar or something. I don't know.
All right, here we go. End of the world live stream. Live it up. All right. The reason I call this is the world ending is we still have a pandemic, although COVID's kind of gone away. Although I was out west for the last 2 weeks, and out west, I'm not talking California, they have gotten rid of all the mask mandates.
Do you watch Dr. John Campbell on YouTube at all?
No, who is that?
He's become really famous as this guy. He does daily COVID updates.
No.
He goes through all the published data that gets released every day.
So are you watching him?
Yeah, he's really interesting.
What do we got?
Well, basically,
I am fully into war in Europe now.
Yeah. Well, COVID's done.
Yeah, I'm into the World War III, which we'll get to.
Yeah. No, I think from a COVID perspective is like, from his point of view, which it's hard to disagree with, is that Omicron is I'm going to say it is a good thing for immunity purposes.
Like you're saying, because like it'll burn through the population. It's not that bad.
It burned through the population, he presents data that it provides immunity for other previous strains, like it wiped out Delta, for example.
Okay,
which was
so that's good.
Quite a bit more dangerous.
Yeah,
and so the debate right now is when will this become endemic? It's not
like is it now?
Mm-mm. One of the reasons that again, you can watch this guy's channel, you can hear everything.
What's this guy's name?
Dr. John Campbell.
Dr. John Campbell.
Super popular.
Is that his YouTube name?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got millions of followers now.
Oh wow, okay.
And basically what he does every day is he does a 7 to 25 minute talk every day, and he just goes over recently published data.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Every day.
Every day.
Good for that guy.
Yeah. Sometimes multiple times a
so
day.
Is his data say we're endemic?
No. Mm-mm. But we should be.
Are we going to have another wave of this? I've been telling everyone. I'm like, this is how it happens. In between the waves, we forget about it. The masks come down, and then another wave comes.
People, a large portion of people say that no. Like that.
We don't have another wave.
Well, you'll have it'll turn into endemic where it's something you're going to live with.
Right.
But the level of immunity that's out there right now is so high.
Like everyone's got it.
And by the way, the U.S., like when you look at the entire world, the U.S. had the highest infection and death rates.
I know. I knew we had the highest infection rates. Yeah. I didn't know about the death rates, but that makes sense.
And
God,
I
that's good. I mean, it's not good.
One of the things that apparently one of the requirements of being endemic is you have to be able to predict it, and they're not quite there yet.
When it's going to come.
Yeah.
I think this summer, if you look at the last 3 waves before, so there's been 4 waves of COVID. And if you look at when the first, including Omicron, when they've come, if they come in the same sequence, this summer will be the next one.
I mean, the case that's being made right now, it's hard to disagree with it, is that lockdown strategy, according to the data, he goes through different papers, right?
Yeah.
That lockdown strategy, I think somewhere in Scandinavia just lifted everything first. They're like, we're done with this. The lockdown strategy.
Yeah.
The lockdown strategy isn't working. It's not preventing infections from Omicron because Omicron is just it's so contagious. And then you pair that with some vaccinations readily available, people handling getting COVID a little bit better, that it was pointless. And so like there's a big push that like all these countries that have a zero COVID policy, like certain parts of Australia and China, that's like impossible with Omicron.
Okay, fair.
Yeah. And so it's better. It's better and more advantageous to let it run through your population. Because you can't stop it.
Those poor people working in hospitals.
I know. It's awful. It's awful.
Like that offers no solace to those people. Like, can you imagine, exiting nursing or medical school in like 2020 or 2019?
Get this though.
I feel so bad for those people.
He's had a couple conversations that are really interesting around booster shots. And when you get the booster, there's various agencies and countries around the world have released data on levels of immunity with booster shots. And like there's a certain time period where you get the booster and you have like great levels of immunity, and then it starts waning. Right. So like there's all these conversations happening about like, if you get the booster, should I expose myself to COVID?
Wow. Funny story. Because my COVID story.
Yeah.
So a month ago, my entire household got COVID. Everyone. But not this guy.
Did Allie get it?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
She tested negative, but
so
everyone else tested positive, and we never saw anyone. And this guy was so exposed.
So interesting, and you say that.
This guy, COVID couldn't touch.
Not yet.
No. I was more exposed to this than any bug that's ever been in my house.
Well, let me tell you, there was some data.
And our sister.
I know.
So I need to see you.
I know.
Because our sister and me both fully exposed and no nothing.
But
we got to expose you.
Interesting. They talked about this. I can't remember the exact percentage, but I think it was 46%. There was some study, or there was some data that was released by somebody that said if your household got it, if someone tested positive and brought it into your household, and you were vaxxed, you had a 46% chance of contracting it.
Okay, so that's good. I also think when I was exposed to it, now this argument gets shot down because my wife and I got the booster at the same time, but when I was exposed to it, like, couldn't have had better timing. I got exposed like 7 weeks after the booster.
Yeah, I think I think they say 8 weeks in certain situations it starts dropping slightly.
But so like 6-7 weeks when I got exposed to this thing when I was at peak boosted antibody levels, and I could not have felt better.
Yeah, that's the same with Dad.
And my wife got it, but we got boosted at the same time, and so my kid got it. My wife got it, and my mother-in-law got it. And my child literally coughed into my mouth on like 4 occasions. And this thing didn't touch me, And my mother-in-law tested positive, but both my daughter and my wife tested negative. But it was the same thing. We were quarantined together. Like it's weird, but it couldn't touch me, man. It was amazing. And I'll tell you, the 3 people in my household.
Maybe you didn't test well enough, because a lot of those rapid tests are real crappy.
Right. Well, the fact that one tested positive and they all got it at the same time from the same person, and we didn't, it was just peak Omicron, so no one was doing anything. And I felt great. It was weird. So anyway, we got some good comments here. So first comment, no Russian vodka. We're going to come back to that comment, but what I wanted to bring up was FYI, the spoon's grooves. So it's the opposite of what I thought. The spoon's grooves actually help keep the gases from releasing, and then when the tonic goes into the drink, it's more effervescent.
Wow.
So first off, that's cool.
I had no idea.
How much of a pain is it to pour down that thing? It's just gonna get everywhere.
Let's make some gin and tonics.
Sorry, we discussed. Let me see that. Show that spoon. Andy's got this swizzle spoon, and I didn't know why it had the swizzles in it, and apparently it keeps the, like, if you have a, like a tonic or a soda water tonic, it keeps the bubbles in it. Okay, that's cool. Okay, sorry. I'm going through the comments, trying to keep up here. We got Subaru Josh. There's a group of people at Oil Creek tonight.
Why are you guys watching this?
There's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to do. It's like 8:00. We would be watching live streams when we were backpacking.
The best is they do. I know you guys do the winter Oil Creek trip every year.
They're probably cooking something really good.
Well, the winter Oil Creek trip is now just.
I know, it's 70 degrees outside. I know.
You guys are probably frying in those shelters. You got the fireplaces going full force.
That's like 70 degrees outside. The price of gas. Yeah,
I paid $3.79 today.
That's actually not that bad.
No.
I remember vividly in 2008 when I filled up for $4.15.
Yeah,
that was the peak of gas prices. Before this was 2008.
What drove those prices? I don't remember.
Housing crash.
Oh,
global recession. We're getting close. National average is nowhere near 415 yet, but it's like upper threes.
Mm-hmm.
They're going up, man. It's not good. World War III is not helping. All right, DBT. A lot of comments about our dad. That's pretty cool.
And Michael Stewart. Chair here.
Nice. All right, Michael. Good to hear that. All right. Tim Watson did not come on the Oil Creek trip.
Ben from Hilltop Packs is
there. Ben McMillan's here.
Hey,
nice.
Josh, I was looking through my texts to find our invite. Sorry we couldn't make it.
I know, right?
Yeah.
No, they're probably, we don't want those shill brothers. I'd like to know who's on that trip. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to go through the comments here. Convince my brother to join Camp Chair Gang today. Yeah. Hey, Ethan, we are proud of that.
Yeah.
Camp Chair Gang.
That's a good.
Or like Camp Chair Gang, or like Camp Chair Mafia. Like we should get a sticker or something. That's awesome. Okay, Lucas M. Nemo Alpine update trash. Nozzle ended up having a slow leak and deflated. Oh God! In the middle of the night when it was 10 degrees out. Returned and bought the Thermarest Neo Air Xtherm. Yeah, so I don't have the Nemo Alpine, but I have the regular Nemo.
Remember when we were hot tenning and you popped yours? God,
it's the worst feeling ever. It's literally
because it's so cold outside.
The worst feeling ever is you're just getting into that bed. It's warm
and it's in the middle of winter.
That's what I mean. It's in the middle of you're like, and that has happened to me. It was awful.
I can't believe it patched so easily though.
And the patch is still going, by the way.
I know.
So shout out if you don't carry them already, go to Lightsmith, get some tenacious tape patches, tenacious tape patches, and keep them in your little kit or whatever. Because I've used them for non-air pad related uses as well. But the tenacious tape has worked better than any patch kit that comes with those pads. And I've probably done 10 to 15 nights on the patched one. So I'm wondering if I just buy a new Nemo tensor. But that sucks. There's nothing worse than a sleeping pad going down in the winter. Oh my God.
Muddle an orange in there.
Yeah.
No, I actually.
I like that.
No. I used to do a lot.
I can't read your name because it's like in Elvish.
No, I used to do a lot more citrus in an old fashioned, but it kind of it overpowers like the traditional flavors, and so I don't. This is good. That. Yeah.
Are you gonna make another one?
Sure.
Do I need to get more ice cubes?
Yeah.
Okay, in a second. Yeah. This is a good question. Corois. I never know how to pronounce the name, but you always have good content in live streams. How will prices, I'm assuming he means gas prices, or they mean gas prices, affect your travel plans this year? This is an interesting question. So plane tickets are not up at all.
Just gas.
Gas is up, but if you think about it, so like, let's say an extra $1 a gallon on let's say a 5-hour drive. That's not, I mean, it's $20-$30 maybe.
Significant.
It's significant, but it's not enough to make you not take the trip.
Right.
Which is kind of annoying because the people who set the gas prices know that. But another thing about gas prices is any increase in gas price basically makes like every good cost more, because everything gets transported. So you see it in more than like trip costs, like like pizza delivery. I mean, like everything gets transported using gas. And so increases in that means like goods. I read something, I think this was AAA, that every $1 increase in gas, which is a lot, equates to an extra $1,000 a year for a family in terms of expenses because of what I just talked about.
That makes sense.
It does. It's just hard to see. It's hard to see when you're paying like a few cents more for this good and that good. But I think it was AAA. It said every $1 in gas increase, and we've had $1 for sure over the last year. Is an extra $1,000 on family expenses. I never thought about it like that. You just think of gas prices as like, oh, I got to drive around. That sucks.
Yeah.
But it's everything.
But I think to answer the question is it won't be affecting our plans.
It will not be affecting our travel plans. Yeah. I would love to see a collaboration between Adventure Archives and you guys. We would too.
They've given us the cold shoulder.
Not all of them. Fun fact: one of the guys, Thomas, who doesn't live here anymore, he used to live like down the street from me, and I'd see him walking his dog. And we've communicated with them a little bit, but they're out of our league. Yeah, let's be real.
Man, I've been watching some of their stuff lately.
I haven't watched any of
their
new stuff.
I love them. They're so awesome. So.
They're one of the OGs.
Yeah.
You know,
speaking of OGs, you know who's just like putting out trip
Syntax?
Yeah. I'm loving his.
Yeah.
I love. I mean, it's just like every other week he's got a new trip video out. I love it.
He must not have kids, right?
No, he doesn't.
You know, that's the only way people can do that at that age.
Yeah. He like shout like respect to him. He's like, oh, I drove like 9 hours overnight.
He does do that. Yeah.
For like a two-nighter.
Where is he going?
He just released one from West Virginia. I just watched it. I love it because I love his trip videos because I watch them while I run on the treadmill.
Yeah, I do that too. Oh no, I just scrolled way down. Okay, sorry. I gotta scroll back up here.
Vermouth. Greg Morton Outdoors says vermouth. That's a Manhattan. That's what you use in a Manhattan.
So the difference between this and a Manhattan is you use vermouth
instead of bitters. I believe.
What is vermouth?
I don't know.
It's like liquor, right? Like a liqueur.
Liqueur.
Is there alcohol in bitters? There's not.
Yes.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
Yeah.
All right. Black walnut bitters. Is it okay? I'm looking at the ingredients. A natural black walnut flavor. Okay. And alcohol. Black walnut bitters bring a robust nut flavor.
Do you get the nuttiness?
I get more the mapleness.
I should have.
Which I like.
I should have brought stuff to make like a more traditional old fashioned.
This is Fee Brothers. We need to have Shill Brothers.
We should do our own line of like cocktail accessories.
We need to have a line of like barbecue rub too. Yeah. Speaking of that.
Speaking of barbecue.
Oh, we just got a super chat. I'm not down there yet. Just got 20 Canadian. Hey man. I love Canada. Yeah. I'm not down to who gave us it yet, but we'll get there. All right, here we go. I
was about to make a trucker's comment.
I know. What's happening with that? The Freedom Convoy?
Yeah, but I saw an article that said that Canada canceled all their vaccine passports. So I think they won, which is awesome.
All I know is I never thought the COVID situation in Canada, like in some of the states, the COVID was very serious. Canada, nationally, they took it pretty seriously, and a lot of people didn't like that. I didn't think that would happen in Canada. Are we all good though? I remember there was like a blockade.
I don't know.
In Detroit.
No.
Then Ukraine got invaded.
Hold on. Once the U.S. complained that we couldn't export our goods, Canada took care of that real quick.
Did you know 25% of U.S. Canadian trade happens through that Detroit corridor?
That bridge.
That is crazy.
I know. And that's apparently like Biden called Trudeau and was like, hey
man. We need our syrup.
Yeah. No. It was like, we need to export our car parts.
Get our goods up there?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, here we go. All right. I'm scrolling through these. Manhattan is rye, sweet vermouth, and bitters. Okay. So very similar. All right. Stir drinks over ice for dilution.
Yeah.
That's what I would have thought. Okay. Manhattan is easy to remember. Area code of Manhattan is 212. Is that New York? Oh, that's Manhattan, New York. 2 ounces of rye or bourbon, 1 ounce of sweet vermouth, 2 dashes. So it's very similar to this.
Yeah.
Stir in ice and then strain into chilled.
Maybe next time we should do
cherry.
We should do a comparison of an old fashioned versus a Manhattan. I haven't drank too many Manhattans, so I can't.
Very similar. Okay, we're back to the Soylent. Okay, Soylent Green. So Soylent. So okay,
Caleb,
back
is
to
from
this.
Caleb Nielsen.
Yeah. So Soylent was the original like meal in a powder form, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't hate the concept because there are definitely times where I am way too lazy to put together a real meal, and a simple protein shake just doesn't do it for me. So like a full meal replacement, I don't think is a terrible idea. And Soylent was like the original company, to my knowledge, that did it. Now there's a bunch, like, I don't know, Huel, I bring it up. I get ads for Huel all the time, and Green Belly is the next one. But it makes really a lot of sense in a camping backpacking sense.
Does it?
Most people, yeah, I think it does. During the day, for us, our lunches are as fast as possible.
You're right. I was just going to say most people, like I would say, okay, would you agree that obviously most of the people that backpack are weekend warriors, right?
For dinner, I'm going to agree with you. They don't want to.
I think most people go out there and they want to
have a good dinner.
They want to have a good dinner and they want to have a good lunch. They want to enjoy the.
But I don't know, breakfast and lunch, I feel like
I think this is
like
a through hiker thing.
I think that'll taste good too.
Oh, well.
Yeah, here we'll put it up. This is not sponsored.
This is really not. This is
not sponsored by Green Belly, but we'll put it on there. It's like, dude, it's like it's a 2.5 pound bag of stuff. All right, here we go. Mud meal just sounds strange. Yeah, it does kind of sound strange. I don't know how they came up with that marketing, but that's, whatever. All right, anyone here use Kui Super Down sleeping bag? I'm looking at them, extremely expensive. Wondering if anyone's got experience with them. Lucas, I've never even heard of them. The most expensive sleeping bag I've ever seen was Feathered Friends.
Not a Western Mountaineering.
How much are those? Feathered Friends had like $600 or $700 sleeping bags.
Yeah, I think. What was the temperature rating?
I don't remember. Let's say 20.
Okay.
Or maybe like 500, 600. I remember in Feathered Friends. That was like the most expensive one I've ever seen. What's Western Mountaineering?
Probably in that same.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? I was going to ask, why are they so expensive? But
down. I don't know.
NKY Brad, hey guys, what's up?
Oh, DBT, Flying Pig is in my future.
DBT has been crushing.
I know. I've been watching your runs.
Yeah, Flying Pig is a great marathon. It is way better than the Columbus Marathon. Element Lifestyle, what's up? Oh, look who's here. D-Ball. Dan Becker.
Why does he have like a highlight with a check mark?
Because he's a big shot YouTuber now.
So What's he saying? Wait, so that it automatically recognizes that?
I guess. It's pretty funny.
Gosh.
Can't stay long. As a matter of fact, I've only got 1 minute here, but just wanted to let you know that Lux still hasn't sent me all of my hot 10 parts.
So okay.
There's a story.
This is okay. Like I'm just like we gotta be honest here. And somebody actually gave us sent us an email about this too.
But start before that. So I'll tell the pre-story and then you tell the main story. Okay. So like 3 months ago, Dan texted us and was like, "Hey, I want to get a hot tent. Let's do this." He's like, "I ordered the hot tent." He reached out to Devin at Backcountry Exposure and he was like, "What hot tent should I get?" And he got the same setup Andy and I got a year ago. So he got a bunch of stuff from Lux. This was in December he ordered it. So he goes, "Hey guys." And
it was in stock on the website.
Yeah, it was in stock. Ordered it. He ordered the Lux Octopeak, the 3W titanium stove. Like he ordered
the center pole.
He ordered the same, very, very similar. Not the exact same, but very, very similar to what we have. This is like right around Christmas. And he's like, "Let's do a hot tenting trip in January." I'm like, "Let's do it. Let's get it on the books." We got a trip planned to Michigan. So this is like 3 weeks later. So 3 weeks later was Omicron and Dan had a bunch of COVID stuff to deal with. He's like, "I can't go backpacking." He still had not gotten the hot tent. Like, I don't know. Fast forward like 3 weeks, he's going back and forth with Lux.
No, there's no back and forth.
No, right. He basically, Lux is giving Dan the cold shoulder. And when we ordered our hot tent, they weren't the greatest. Now I can say I ordered the stuff. It came.
And you're talking about from a customer service.
Correct. I'm not talking about the quality of gear. The one thing that pissed me off was I didn't know what a spark arrestor was. And I was like, do I need to get a spark arrestor with the stove? And I think I ordered one. I think they said, yes, you don't need a spark arrestor with that stove. So I was like, why do I have this? That kind of pissed me off. Anyway, our experience with Lux has been fine. It's been neutral.
Yeah.
Dan's experience with Lux has been bad. And
no communication, like just randomly sending him stuff.
You gotta tell him what someone emailed us.
So then someone emailed us. And by the way, like this is like someone emailed us and basically said, you guys need to stop.
I'm gonna get ice cubes while I tell the story.
Yeah. So someone emailed us and said, you guys need to stop talking so much positive stuff about Lux. in a nutshell. And they were quoting that, you know, Lux has terrible customer service. They don't reply to emails. You can't like stuff listed as in stock isn't actually in stock. And then you wait forever for your products. And then you try to email them and get like timelines and nobody replies to you, which is kind of a similar story to what Dan was going through. And so the email was like, basically like, you really need to stop telling people that this is a good company. And my response to that was, I'm going to talk about our experiences with Lux, which have been fine, neutral, like Kevin said. But it seems to be that people are telling us of a lot more about these negative experiences that are happening. And it mainly is around like communication with the company or lack of communication and related to questions, related to statuses, all sorts of stuff. So I don't know, like you've had a neutral experience with it, and I don't want to slam them, but it's just like
I did not have an overly positive experience, but like I ordered the stuff. It came. The stuff that came was good. Like I would order from them again.
And
based on my experience.
And the products are great. Like the actual physical product
was good. Yeah, it was good. Good, great. Yes. Now they don't make the stove, by the way. That's not their stove.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. This person, and they were actually really cool. Like they weren't like, stop talking about Lux. They were actually pretty cool about it.
But it's just like, we keep hearing stories.
A lot of people keep telling us really, really poor stories about the customer service side of Lux. So take that for what you will.
Yeah, and it
is hilarious that Dan Becker ordered this stuff in December and he still doesn't have all of it.
And I think and to Dan's point of view is like,
and Dan isn't even like, hey guys, I have like a huge, like, I will make you guys a ton of money. Dan doesn't do that. Obviously evidenced by the fact that they haven't sent him his stuff.
But here's the thing too, like Dan wouldn't be pissed off if somebody just responded to him and said, hey, it's not in stock.
Dan's such a nice guy.
Like,
yeah, it's hard to piss off Dan.
It's just like reply to the email and say like, hey, like these are back ordered. I'll let you know when they come in or something.
I like that he popped into the live stream to say that. Anyway, the Lux Octopeak, which is the hot tent I have, it's a great hot tent. The WWW titanium stove, the Wild West, which they don't make but they sell, is a great stove. So like I can't bash the products, but yeah, some people have been having some issues with them. The fact that people will email us and say, please don't talk positively about that is like, whoa, they have pissed people off. Like that takes a lot. Like if you were to email someone you watch and you'd be like, hey, please do not talk about this company. Like, I'm like, oh my God, how much do you hate them? So anyway, props to Dan. Dan's definitely not still here. That comment was a while ago, but yeah, I mean, I want to go hot tenting with you, Dan. That would have been fun. Okay. Mr. Worley, New York doesn't have a mask mandate anymore either. Yeah. That's surprising from New York. Oh, Rich is here. Rich, we just used your, Haywood, you blow me. We just used your ice cubes. Thank you for that. True story. When I was out West, Dad was in this shop. Did he tell you this? Mm-mm. There was a sign he was going to get for the studio. Do you know what the sign said?
No.
The sign said, I'll believe Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, when he's on in my car.
I'll believe
Dad
Bigfoot
told me that
exists
today.
when he's strapped to the hood of my car
He told me that today.
with like a little target over Bigfoot. I thought that was pretty funny. All right. Sorry, I'm really behind on comments. Midterms are coming up, so COVID is done. Yep. Kulu gear is awesome. Michael Stewart says, okay. Is that the expensive sleeping bag comment, I think? Yeah. It's ending because the primaries and midterms are around the corner, and they're trying to get out our good graces and get our votes. There's some truth to that. Yep. Giambi, it's only deadly for elderly and fat folks. Also some truth to there. A lot of COVID. I didn't mean this to be. I wanted this live stream to be a Russia-Ukraine live stream because I have a lot of thoughts on that, but we're not there quite yet. John R. Okay, well, there's a big conversation going on about COVID and flu that I'm not going to touch. Guest suggestion. Here we go. Hermetically sealed. Have the Ukrainian farmer who swiped all those. Have you seen those videos?
Have you seen the one where they're eating pizza and driving the tank
No.
away?
So he's talking about there's this video of these Ukrainian farmers taking their tractors and hauling these Russian tanks.
I know. No, there was another good one where they were driving
funny.
A bunch of farmers were driving a tank away, and they were eating pizza.
Is this still a backpacking channel?
No, not during the live stream.
Not during this live stream. Sorry, what were you saying?
Me?
Yeah, I don't know. You're talking about eating pizza.
Yeah, there was a video of some Ukrainians driving a tank away, like some farmers or something, and they're sitting on top of it, a bunch of people, and they're eating pizza, and they're driving it through the field.
Really funny. Yeah. I do want to talk about that. This is okay. All right. Anyone have any good hikes planned? Let's talk about that. Here's a question for you. Would you do is it Mckinley? Is it Mckinley? Is that the one in California? No. What's the big peak in California? Whitney.
Yeah.
Would you do the Mount Whitney day hike?
Not the day hike. We could do a 2-nighter.
But I think the camping sucks.
You actually camp at a conjunction with the PCT.
Do you know the stats on the day hike?
What is it, like 8,000 vertical feet?
It's like 6,000 or 7,000 vertical feet and 22 miles.
22.
So speaking of hike
22 miles?
Yeah.
I'm not doing a day. I'm not doing a 22 mile day.
There's another variant of it that's less. So in response, let's talk about hiking for a little bit. I still haven't gotten to the Russia-Ukraine thing, which I really do want to talk about, but let's talk about hiking for a little bit. So Andy and I were putting together our spring, summer kind of trip, and I am going to lose my laptop and the comments here.
When you plug it in.
That just seems like a lot of work.
There's a plug right there.
I need the charger, and it's out there. And anyway, we're putting together our hiking plans. And what we're going to do this year, which is what we did last year, is we're probably always going to do some sort of California, Tahoe, Yosemite hike. That might not be our big hike, but we're always going to do a hike out there. Our sister lives out there. It's logistically very easy to go out there, and the backpacking is incredible. The reason I bring this up is for Yosemite specifically, it's a lottery-fed permit system. And I don't want to get into how it works, but basically you got to go into a lottery for the Mount Whitney stuff. So the Mount Whitney is the highest, right? It's the highest peak in the lower 48.
Yeah, I think
because Denali is higher.
Yeah.
And it would be cool because we've done the second highest peak.
Yeah.
Which is Mount Elbert.
I know.
So I would like to do McKinley, but in the lottery system, you got to say whether you want the day hike pass or the overnight pass.
That hiking guy put out a video that said he was training for Mount Elbert.
Oh, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Elbert kind of sucks. Not going to lie.
It's a hard one.
It's not nearly as hard as this McKinley thing would be. Oh, my God.
Whitney.
Sorry. What's Mount McKinley?
I don't know.
That's a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
What? I have that in my head.
I don't know.
So anyway, part of our trip planning is we're trying to figure out if we want to do that. We're going to do something in Yosemite. I have really thrown out going back and doing the Arizona trail trip.
The one that we scheduled?
Yeah, we haven't figured out our big trip this year. We're going to do a trip, like I said, in Yosemite, California. That is not going to be like a 5-night trip. That's going to be like a 2-night thing, whatever. That's not going to be like our big trip. So we're still trying to figure out what our quote unquote big trip is going to be. I'd like to go do the AZT. Colorado is always an option. Outside of those two things, the only other things I thought about wanting to do was once again something up in Oregon or Washington State. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that. Going back to Colorado would be great, but I wouldn't count that as like a big trip. You know, that might be a 3 or 4 nighter thing. Mm-hmm. So we're still trying in terms of, do we have any hikes planned? We're trying to hammer out. This is the time of year where we're trying to do like our big summer trips. You know, we're going to do some stuff this spring, like, you know, locally, not in Ohio, but we'll hit up West Virginia, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We've got some stuff in the talking phases for that. But we're looking at like our big trips this year. And I still would like to go to Arizona. I'm going to do something in Yosemite, California.
I would like to
maybe just 2 nights. You know,
I would like to do a couple more sections of the Colorado Trail and then spend more time in California.
As much as I hate on California, their outdoor recreating is, and you know, I didn't really know that. You always hear California's got a ton of good outdoorsy stuff. You always hear that, but it is world class out there. Mm-hmm. But it's just so hard to get to from where we live.
Yeah.
The permitting and regulations suck. During COVID, California was obviously locked down like crazy. So it just logistically, it's difficult for us coming from Ohio to get out there, but it's awesome. So anyway, in terms of hikes planning, that's kind of where we're at. All right, I'm trying to go through these. Here we go. I'm going to just skip all the controversial COVID comments. DBT is going to the Virginia Triple Crown. We've never done that. I would like to do that. I would like to. Oh, great suggestion. The Ghost of Kiev. Man. Have you seen that rumor? I'm really enjoying all the propaganda rumors.
Of course.
And you don't know how true they are.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, the Ghost of Kiev is this rumor about this combat ace from the Ukrainian Air Force.
Every day it's like, oh, it's up to 9 now. Oh, he's on his 3rd plane.
And like you don't know what's real or what's not, but it's a cool thing to think about. Yeah. I guess. I don't know. War is never cool, but whatever. We're not to World War III yet. We're not done with the comments. I do have a lot of things to talk about with what's going on.
Okay.
In Eastern Europe.
Okay.
But we can keep some of this backpacking related. All right. I would rather be backpacking. J. Wells Johns. I would rather be backpacking, but do not want to camp in thunderstorms. If it's warm outside, camping in thunderstorms, assuming you're not hiking in them. Although hiking in thunderstorms when it's warm out isn't that bad.
No, it kind of sucks.
I don't know, thunderstorms.
Everything
thunderstorms,
gets wet.
You're talking about lightning and wind. Yeah, that can suck. But if you're in your tent and you're in a safe place, it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Up trails here. Oh god, I just lost the comments.
Yeah,
I just lost it. Oh, we're not even to the Feral Daryl. He's super chatted us before.
I know.
Feral Daryl, I'm sorry it took you so long. I appreciate the $20 Canadian. I have no idea how much that is in US dollars, but I don't care. It's cool. It's really cool.
It says, did you get the chainsaws yet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're awesome.
Feral Daryl. I'm not gonna bring it out. Watch our last hot tenting trip. We got the chainsaws. They're fantastic. They're probably always coming on hot tent trips. All right, we're just gonna skip down to Feral Daryl's comment. See if you super chat, we're gonna come right to your comment, especially if you super chat in a foreign currency. Okay, here we go. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm sorry, I'm skipping.
What's Zwift?
Yeah, what is Zwift, by the way? All these endurance people are on Zwift.
I see you on that DBT.
It looks kind of cool.
Is it like? Do you have like an iPad up there or something?
I don't know.
I always see it's like these like.
It's Adventure Time is doing the Foothills Trail in 2 weeks. Good for you, man. This is a good time of the year to do that. It should be warm down there. Where did Joey go? Dearless says I
haven't seen
what happened to him.
I don't know. I haven't watched any of my own Frontier videos in a long time.
Our fuel here in Western North Carolina has more than doubled over the last 14 months. Just paid $4.69. Wow, that is really high. I'm seeing like upper 3s here in Ohio, which is really high, but that's right around I think the national average, if not a little bit below. Ohio has relatively cheap energy.
Andrew Sherman says Backcountry Foodies shakes
Up Trail.
are the bomb.
What's up? Up Trail's here. What's up?
This is the first time. I'm glad somebody's shouting out that they've tried the Backcountry Foodies recipes.
Yeah, she's really cool, and she has good stuff. She has really good stuff. All right, I'm just going through these here. Jay Wells Johns, Dan seems like a bit of a spaz. I don't mean that as an insult. That's
actually,
funny.
I will say that Dan's been held. I mean, Dan's got a very big platform. If he wanted to talk about an experience with a bender, and he's chosen not to.
He's held back.
Back. So I actually think he's pretty well reserved here, to be honest.
I think he's like such a nice guy. He doesn't want to openly talk crap about a company, but he probably could. John Lang, Kevin, did you buy the Durston X Mid Pro 2? I did not.
That was expensive.
It was so expensive, and they sold so fast. Mm-hmm. They sold out, I think, in like minutes. So that is the Dyneema version of the Durston tent I have. What it was, $700?
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
I got an Altiplex. I got a Durston. I got another tent. I got too many tents I'm not dropping $700 on, but Durston's tents are fantastic. And the fact that they sell out, this computer's about to die. Do you have the comments up?
Yeah.
The fact that Durston's tents sell out in like 5 minutes, that's all you need to know. I can't speak to that tent, but I have the X-Mid Pro 1, which is not made out of Dyneema, and it's a great tent. Okay, here we go. I'm just going through these. Lucas got the Lux Mini Peak 2, and it's good. Seam sealed the peak and had it in extreme rain, and it didn't leak. It's good quality, no experience. Yeah. So Lucas, I'll agree with you. I have the Lux Octopeak hot tent. I seam sealed it myself. I had nothing but good experience with the actual tent itself, and I haven't had to interface with the customer service other than buying the product, and it was average. It was fine. It wasn't negative. Okay, here we go.
Oh, Mount McKinley is the old name for Denali.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh.
A couple people, Mr. Worley and Hike with Mike, said that.
Oh man, we are behind.
McKinley is in Alaska, now known as Denali. Aaron Jones, have you guys gone?
DBP's done Whitney.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
I haven't seen that. I gotta watch that.
Have you guys done the Allegheny National Forest? No.
No, that's in Pennsylvania. Right? Pennsylvania, New York. No, that's part of the, I don't know, I'll call it the Midwest, even though it's not really. Eastern Pennsylvania, New York is an area we have not really backpacked. We've skied there. I've never really backpacked there, and I would like to. Here's the issue. For the same time, we can go to West Virginia, we can go up to Michigan, and that's good backpacking. But I would like to go to the Alleghenies. I would like to go to that Western New York, Eastern Pennsylvania area, because there's really good backpacking there.
This is a funny comment. Cameron Youngstrom said, I did Whitney day hike in college. It was beyond brutal. Pretty sure the hike down actually damaged my knees and hips.
All right, you got the comments?
Yeah.
I'm going to shut this.
Lucas M. Michael Stewart didn't see your... Oh, wait. Okay. Let's keep going here. Scott Valor, I'm trying to get a rim-to-rim permit for the Grand Canyon this fall.
That would be sick.
Probably do a Colorado trip and something south of us, like Buffalo River. So,
rim-to-rim looks really cool, too.
Yeah.
Heavily permitted, though. Yeah.
Greg Morton says, hit the San Juans on the CT. Yeah.
I would love to do that. So the San Juans on the Colorado Trail it's like the Western Colorado Trail where it gets like really, really beautiful.
It's the haul.
It's just really hard to get there from Denver. And when we do Colorado, at least last year, it's like a 5-day thing, like fly in, 3 nights, fly out, and getting to Western Colorado, it just takes like almost an extra, not a day, but it just takes it's far, but it's known as like the most beautiful part of the Colorado Trail. Mm-hmm. So I would like to go there. Can we talk about Russia yet?
Trying to get through these comments. People are like,
we haven't done this in a while.
I know. Almost $4 in Florida. Hike with Mike. Just paid $4.59 for home heating oil, 180 gallons. Mike K.
Wow.
Dixie's been trying to get the Durston, according to Lisa Williams.
Durston does not give out free tents.
Yeah. Let me see. Okay. Do your...
Okay. All right. So, was it a week and a half ago? What day are we on?
Like 8 or 9.
First off, it's always incredible to me, and I experienced this in 2004 with the U.S. invasion of Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible to me that I can turn my television on and I can watch war.
There's 151 people in this chat too, by the way.
I know. Thanks for coming. We haven't done this in a while. We try and talk about backpacking. It's the end of the world. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's incredible to me that I've got like 10 news channels on my TV where I can actively watch war happening.
Well, that's because like the political spectrum right now is pretty boring.
No one cares about COVID.
No one cares about COVID. So all these news stations that are hurting for content, they're like
war.
Yeah.
I think about, and I don't want this is not the point of discussion, but I think about what if like World War II was like that? Like, how much does that change war? Like, if it just unifies, like if everyone in the world could turn their TV and see what the Nazis were doing, Germany wouldn't have stood a chance.
That happened.
Not live.
No, not
in
live.
HD.
No.
24 hours a day.
I will say though that compared to other like invasions and stuff, the coverage of this. I mean, like the news stations are constantly like covering it, but the actual footage from on the ground,
there's not much.
Not much.
Second, I mean, regardless of how you feel about what's going on, and like I actually have talked to people that are pro-Russia.
Well, see, here's the thing,
which is a really interesting thing as an American.
Well, they were pro-Russia until the NATO argument got thrown out at the window, and then they just invaded in general.
But I cannot stop thinking about, and like this is not a political discussion, like our military is so much better than Russia's.
Yes.
Like I'm looking and I'm assuming Russia is throwing their real military at Ukraine. Like they're not holding the real good stuff back.
You know, that's an interesting question though, because you look at these interviews with the people they've captured and they're like, you know,
I mean,
19-year-old boys.
They've got the majority of their army is conscripted, which is not atypical for Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Most European armies, you know, in Europe, you do, when you're like 18, 19, you do 2 years in the military. Like in a lot of these European countries, in Korea, you do 2 years in the military and then you're out. So a lot of these people are conscripts, but they've got tanks from like the 80s. Like they have artillery, right? Like artillery units that are mobile. Our artillery is on our planes.
Some of it.
No, like we don't have, like we have AC-130 gunships.
I mean, we have howitzers.
We do, but we would never use them.
That's not true. We used them in Iraq and Afghanistan.
Did we?
Oh yeah.
Anyway.
You call on artillery all the time.
Yeah, but I think that comes from a plane.
No, not all the time. Not at all.
I don't know. I see our military. Maybe this is U.S. war machine propaganda, but like our military is so.
Well, look at the budget.
I know.
Yeah, like we're like the amount of money.
However, Russia spends more money on their military relative to their GDP than we do.
They're doing it wrong.
Well, our GDP is 13 times bigger than Russia's. Yeah. Russia, this blew my mind because Russia, if you go back in time, let's go to World War I, World War II. Russia is a preeminent superpower in the geopolitical stage.
I love how
Russia has the GDP of Texas.
I know.
Right now. It's the 13th biggest GDP in the world.
Yeah, right. The problem is
they are far from where they used to be.
It's just the problem is they're a nuclear power.
They have more nukes than us.
I know.
But that doesn't matter. It's like if you have 6,000 nukes and we have 4,000 nukes, does that matter? It doesn't matter.
No, it's not.
It doesn't matter.
No, in my opinion,
you just need like 10 nukes.
Yeah, that's why like everyone's like North Korea. I mean, they're technically a nuclear power.
Are they?
I think they have one ICBM.
I don't think they do. They have ICBM. Anyway, there's many points I want to make about this. The first being,
the Russians use, so hike with Mike. The Russians use 3 tiers. First units are conscripts for cannon fodder, and then the second and third troops take over. Their military structure is totally different than ours. Greg Morton Outdoors.
Yeah, no,
totally.
I know. But I'm seeing the equipment they have, and maybe they're just throwing the worst at Ukraine because they're like, we know we're gonna get Ukraine. But I'm looking at our military and their military, and it's not even close.
Maybe they put all the conscripts on the border because
they put all the bad stuff
because they thought they were just gonna walk in.
Well, which is fair. So maybe that's it. But I'm looking at like their air systems. I'm looking at their tanks. I'm looking at like all that stuff. And like we have AC-130 gunships. Like they don't have anything close to that. Not that it matters because we're not going to war with Europe. Okay, second point I thought about. There is not a chance ever that any country could invade the USA.
No.
Like never.
You know how they're
like it's like we take that for granted.
Yeah.
Like it's pretty sweet. I mean, you'd have to either make an alliance with Mexico or Canada, right? To invade us.
Well, I mean, one of the things too is you would just be, every American would easily have access to a firearm.
So that's the other point.
And
I
you would just be fighting you'd be fighting an insurgency nonstop.
Can you imagine invading the South or the Midwest where like on average every household has a firearm? Like, what are you doing? Like, how does that even happen?
Yeah, but we need
I mean, we don't have training. We're not organized, but like you go to like Ohio. Gun ownership in Ohio is probably high compared to the rest of the United States. I don't know. How are you doing that as an invading country?
I don't know, but like small arms ain't going to do crap against tanks.
No, but it's still like we have a million of us in this city, you know? And like they're talking about that in Kyiv, where the Kyiv is a city before the war of 2.5 million. So that's a big city. They think conservatively there's going to be a few 100,000 people left in that city. And they all have guns.
Did you see?
You don't have a few hundred. Now, granted, the Russians have tanks. They've got air support. They've got everything. But they don't have hundreds of thousands of troops.
Did you see?
And you're in a city.
Did you see NASCAR bought 1 million rounds of ammunition
for Ukraine? No.
Yeah,
really?
They're working on the permit. They're working on the permits of exporting it.
Wait, how much ammunition?
1 million.
A million rounds.
Of whatever calibers. I don't know what caliber.
I mean, that's like Elon giving them a bunch of Starlink satellites.
Yeah,
and the U.S. government is surely giving them stuff.
We're giving them weapons and money. But I'm sure we're giving them intelligence.
Our F-35s are in Estonia right now, and like they're not just there for no reason.
We're
there.
I mean, we're reinforcing the eastern flank of NATO.
I'm happy to hear like. I do not want the U.S. to get involved in this.
No, please. No more foreign wars. Come on.
Andy as long as we've been alive, the U.S. has been involved in foreign wars. You know, when I grew up in Desert Storm 1, which was like early 90s.
Eric Paul.
And then we had
Tim Kennedy on the ground. Of course he is.
Then we had Iraq. We had Afghanistan. We had Syria. Like the U.S. has been in some sort of armed conflict my entire life, and it's too expensive. It's too expensive.
Not only is it too expensive, but it's just like it's not. It's just like the loss of life, and like with conflict and wars, there's one thing that is common is that ordinary civilians are the ones that pay the price. They pay the price.
It is sickening for me to see this city, Kyiv, Ukraine, they're just getting shelled. It's sickening. Like, why? I get it. They're fighting, but like Russia's going to take this country over.
Yeah, but then they're just going to have to deal with an insurgency. And they're going to deal with an insurgency with all of Europe just funneling weapons in there, just like Afghanistan.
I was listening to the Dakota Meyer podcast today where he's like, dude, take it from us. We spent 20 years in Iraq. When you take over the country, it's not over. You're dealing with insurgents for decades.
And not only are
dude, those Ukrainians, those Eastern Europeans, they're not like soft like us Americans.
I know, but
they are hard.
But here's one of the differences too. Not only you're dealing with an insurgency, you're dealing with an insurgency that's supported by the vast majority of them. I mean, can you imagine like the CIA activity in there and all the other?
I know. That's what I'm thinking. Like we've got sad SOG units in there. Like we've got CIA in there. You know, the U.S. has all sorts of interference in there, just like not officially, and not. The interesting thing is, it's not like the U.S. is not the major player from the West. It's like Great Britain, Germany, Finland, Sweden, like France.
The European Union gave them like 14 fighters recently.
And then I'm like, why? I actually, before this conflict started, I didn't realize that the Ukraine used to be part of USSR.
Yeah.
And like 15 other countries,
yeah.
like Moldova, like all that.
Yeah.
So are they like, why are they taking Ukraine over? Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay.
I mean, I get Ukraine is the biggest country outside of Russia.
Let me give you what everybody thought it was going to
75% of the world's neon supply. We need that for semiconductors.
Also sunflower oil.
Really?
Yeah. Sunflower seeds is a big export.
Yeah, Ukraine. 43 million people.
And wheat.
Big country. I didn't know it was like the breadbasket of Europe.
So originally, prior to the invasion, it was an argument over NATO constantly threatening to expand.
I'd heard that. Yeah.
And so everyone was being like, Russia's like, hey, we don't want nukes on our border.
So I did hear that because it's like the analogy was during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Like, we did not want Cuba to have Russian nukes.
Right.
So Russia does not want Ukraine to have American nukes. So I heard that. I was like, okay, that makes sense.
So the interesting thing is like, you know, there's some, I don't know the ins and outs, but like Ukraine has been offered chances in the past to be part of NATO and it's never happened.
Okay.
So like there was some legit negotiations to be made, and apparently Zelensky was a part of it. Of be like, hey,
do you know that dude was on Ukraine's Dancing with the Stars?
Yeah.
And he played the president in a TV show before he was the president.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I know. But anyways, so everybody, the world was prepared to be like, okay, let's negotiate on like NATO expanding.
Okay.
So then they're like, okay, we can negotiate on that. But then Putin gave this giant speech about how he just wants to restore the original Russian Federation.
Is that part of that? That's what that is?
Hold on.
There's a lot more countries than Ukraine.
Right. He wants to restore the Russian Federation, and he actually called out Soviet leaders how they made mistakes making these treaties for some of these Eastern countries.
There's no way this ends well for Russia. There's literally no outcome that even if Russia takes Ukraine, there's no outcome where Russia ends up beneficial here.
And I don't care how much sanctions you put on Russia. Like in the end, it just hurts common people. Like you're just punishing everybody.
That's a shitty thing.
This whole thing is just shitty. Like
the sanctions just hurt the Russian people.
Yeah,
I mean they hurt the Russian aristocracy too. But
and I love how everybody's been transparent, and I actually appreciate this transparency from the U.S. about like we're not going to sanction anything that has to do with like Russian energy
because we need that oil.
I know we do, and everyone's like, "Yep," because Europe.
I think that's going to happen
because Europe decommissioned like all their nuclear plants, and then
Germany did that.
I know
that was a real bonehead move.
And then
I know like, in the 80s, Germany decommissioned all their nuclear plants in the 80s.
So now everybody's scrambling to make new energy deals, and then there's still a bunch of nuclear plants that haven't been decommissioned.
Maybe they'll get energy from the #1 gas exporter in the world. The USA.
Yeah, I know they did. They're making a bunch of deals.
Isn't that amazing? The USA, from shale, fracking, whatever, we can argue the economic consequences of it, but the USA is the #1 exporter of oil. That's amazing. That did not used to be the case when we were growing up.
Yeah. So Cameron Youngstrom said Putin sees himself reforming the Russian Empire. I think Peter the Great. I agree. That came out of nowhere.
Here's the deal, though. They've got so many more countries they have.
I know.
I didn't realize the USSR, it's like current day Russia.
Don't think USSR. Think Russian Empire.
Okay, it's Russian Empire and USSR are like the same thing from a country border standpoint. But like it was Estonia, Moldova, like all those like random Eastern Bloc countries you've never heard of, they were part of Russia, and Russia lost them when the USSR fell in the 90s.
Yeah, let's just hope that there can be some diplomatic solution and like stop this bloodshed.
I don't see that happening. I do not see Russia backing down. at all.
This is just terrible.
So and a lot of people, like with COVID, like when COVID first happened, it was like a big deal, but like we have years of COVID. I'm pretty sure we have years of this.
You see those like Russian soldiers that have been captured that they've been interviewing.
I know,
and it's
that's
propaganda,
sad.
but they're like 17-year-old.
I know,
kids.
it's sad.
And then you look at the people of Ukraine like rise. I mean, of course you feel nothing but like
why haven't they hit the convoy?
I know, I totally agree. Come on,
It's because the air support. Because Russia's got the air.
I mean, they have to be protecting the crap out of it.
I was like, why aren't these Ukrainians at night just they're crazy. They seem crazy. Just running out
They
there
have drones.
with like Molotov cocktails and like
have you seen
dumping
those
them on
videos
the-
of like
Yeah.
jeez. I mean, come on.
It's nuts. I did not think this was gonna happen like a
Nobody
month
did.
ago.
I actually didn't think that they would do something this stupid either. This is dumb.
And it's just I mean
but here's the thing. It's just innocent people in Russia and in Ukraine and all over the world just pay for this bullshit.
more so in Ukraine right now.
Yeah.
I mean, the innocents in Russia, okay, we can't get cash out of my ATM. That's annoying. But the innocents in Ukraine are getting like their houses bombed.
They can't. IKEA pulled out of Russia.
Everybody is. The Ohio governor. True story. Ohio,
But other states did this too, I think.
that's fair. Ohio, as a state, the Ohio Liquor Board controls Ohio liquor. The governor of Ohio mandated that a few purely Russian brands of vodka are no longer allowed to be stocked on the shelves of Ohio liquor stores. Like the governor of Ohio,
Stick it to him.
His Twitter picture is like a free Ukraine thing. I was like, what? I mean, I get it, but like, you're the governor of Ohio. We got Ohio issues.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's sad. It's crazy to me that I can watch it in 1080p on 5 different news channels constantly.
And and you know the crazy
amazing.
thing is like I know they're trying to have these talks on the border, but both
With Belarus,
yeah,
which is Russia.
right, but both sides are saying that these talks are pointless.
Yeah.
And it's just like nobody can really like
I'm trying to figure out, okay, what's Russia winning? What does that look like? Like they just control Ukraine, obviously, but even if they take over Ukraine, you're going to have like the Ukrainian people continue to fight them for like years.
yeah, you're just going to have to
Right?
deal with an insurgency. Yeah, and you would have thought from Afghanistan that they would have learned that, and then also from
They tried to do that in Afghanistan in the 80s.
And
that didn't work.
and-
We fought them in Afghanistan.
Yeah, and
which
the
is hilarious.
the best
the
is-
irony.
The best is that
Charlie Wilson's War, great movie.
yeah, the best is that Putin called out like how America has made some like mistakes like invading sovereign countries, which
For
is,
sure.
which is true, and everybody's like,
100%
yeah,
true.
Everyone's like, yeah, so like, aren't you gonna like learn from our idiotic mistakes?
Don't even get me started on that concept. Us in Afghanistan for 20 years.
Yeah,
Iraq
for weapons of mass
15
destruction
that didn't exist there. I know,
right
man.
into just
That's why I
constant war.
really just don't want to see the U.S. involved in this more so than like, I'm fine. Like send the CIA over there.
Yeah, if you want to send
the Black Ops teams over there. Do what you gotta do.
If you want to flood them with some, and some like Congress people have made the arguments of like, we're gonna give them money and some weapons to make it a fair fight.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we can give them an F-35. We can give them some of those, right?
They can't fly.
Let's give the Ghost of Kyiv. The Ghost of Kyiv is using an Su-25 right now.
No, he's using a MiG-25.
Okay, he's using a MiG. Let's give him an F-35. Let's make it a fair fight. That'd be cool. Have you seen like how he's painted, like the plane? Is
If it's all
painted?
true.
Who knows?
Do you know what one of the biggest like
cool.
You know what one of the biggest like propaganda things that turned out to be fake was the Snake Island situation.
Oh, the 13 dudes. Yeah, I know.
They all surrendered.
They all survived. Yeah, that's
which
where
is
it's like,
good. Like that's
No, I
good.
know. I'm glad they didn't die.
They still told the Russian thing to
F off. I know. I'm glad they didn't die, but it just shows you like you can't believe like this Ghost of Kyiv. I heard another one about like some infantry guy who had like 50 kills or like something.
It's the Reaper.
Yeah, the Reaper. Yeah. It's like this is a guy from Call of Duty. You gotta think though, like in Kyiv, there's probably like some sniper that's probably gonna get a bunch of kills.
I don't know.
I guess the convoy is what, like 15 miles outside right now.
But yeah, they must be protecting the hell out of that convoy. I listened.
They've got the air. They've got the airspace. So
so here's some interesting thing. I listened to some analysis, and this is just like total like mainstream media, could be like just propaganda.
Yeah.
But they did some analysis on like from lessons learned of like moving a military convoy that far and like how you do it logistically.
Yeah, it's okay. Tell me what you're gonna say, and then I have a comment.
They were talking about just the amount of logistics it takes to move that much machinery from point A to point B without the logistical support is just like you're sitting ducks.
But it makes you amazed that the Germans did it in 1939.
Yeah,
I mean, the Germans invaded Poland, and they did it with this mechanized army. And like what Andy's talking about is like, you got to have gas for your tanks and food and water. And it's like, it's a logistical thing to move tens of thousands of troops and equipment, hundreds of miles. And the Germans, I mean, they did it. And another meme I saw was the German Air Force is patrolling Poland in that area. And they're like, whoa, we don't like it last time that happened. That was World War II with the German Stuka dive bombers strafing Poland. But now the German Air Force is like protecting Poland. It's like, it's really weird.
Yeah.
Is the world ending? How do you think this ends?
One of two ways.
Only two outcomes.
Yeah. Either there's some type of diplomatic solution where Russia gets something that they want.
What would they want?
I don't know, because it's confusing now with Putin wanting to just create like the Russian Republic.
Yeah.
But like if some part of that was like, hey, you're not going to have like weapons pointed at you in Ukraine.
Did you know in the late 90s, Ukraine gave all their nukes up?
Yeah.
And we gave them up. I don't know who they gave them to, but they're like, Russia, you protect us. We give up all our nukes. That's a bonehead move.
If
Ukraine had nukes right now, this would be different.
No. The less nukes, the better in this world.
For sure. 100%. Yes.
Or, which this seems to be the next most, this seems to be the more thing that's going to come true is Russia takes over Ukraine. They're just going to throw bodies at it, and there's going to be lots of atrocities.
They just fight like a terrible war and it's for like 10 years.
Well, it's going to be an insurgency, and then what's going to happen is we're going to have like a new DMZ running on the borders, and it's going to be all of the EU and NATO, just tons of troops on the border just watching.
What's the closest NATO country? Like Poland, I think.
Poland, is Romania in NATO?
I don't know, but Poland's right up there. That's what's scary. Is like if he goes after a NATO country, then it's World War III.
God, can't.
I don't think they'd do that. I think Russia's whatever. I don't know. We've stepped so far out of our backpacking bounds right now into like geopolitics, and
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do. How do you negotiate with somebody that just wants to expand the empire?
I don't know. Right now, then, like, hey, we're gonna fight you. Good luck. You've got a better military than us. I mean, 10 years. Here we go. In the streets of Ukraine, these people up in like apartment complexes shooting on you.
Yep. And just the loss of civilian life, the loss of property,
we need our neon gas for our semiconductors.
Yeah, we need our sunflower seeds. We need our sunflower oil.
All right, everybody.
This is terrible. But hey,
it's not terrible.
Nobody cares about COVID anymore
until the next wave.
Yeah.
I mean, in between the waves,
nobody
cares. I'm waiting for you to be exposed to test my genetics theory, because our sister and me we've
been exposed before. Like we've had to quarantine.
I mean, our sister and me have been invincible.
Yeah.
So that fares well for you.
I know. When we took the vaccines,
so hard. I'd like a case study. Why don't you just go into a daycare somewhere, just lick the doorknobs or something?
No.
It's gonna happen.
I know. I agree. I'm going to get it.
This Omicron wave, I think every single person I know has been exposed or had it.
Yeah.
So you've probably been exposed,
Sure.
just don't know it.
Yeah.
You know,
1,000%.
Yeah.
Sure.
But hey, I guess we don't care about it right now. Although I will say, so last comment, I was out west for 2 weeks, no masks anywhere. Whatever. If there's a mask mandate, I put the mask on. I'm not.
Giant Eagle still has a mask mandate.
That's what I was going to say. I was out west for 2 weeks.
But only about half people are wearing it. But they have okay, so like I respect a business's right to put policies in for masks.
I just feel bad for the employees. If the employees are wearing masks, I'll put a mask on because I feel bad for them.
Right. Now, if you don't want to wear a mask, which is completely fine, you have the right to not patronize that establishment.
Right.
So like, but I think it's kind of pointless right now.
I was shocked. I was out west for 2 weeks, not a single mask other than the airlines. I think that's going to collapse soon, but whatever. I wore my mask. I came back here. I went to the grocery store. 100% of the people were masked.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I put my mask on. Like, that's fine. I don't care. But I was surprised because Ohio is a red state. And where I was not a red state.
Well, these are individual businesses that are making this decision right now.
I know, but it's a red state business.
Yeah.
You know, and I was somewhere that was very liberal and no masks. And I came back here and mask. How good's that cherry? Is that a good cherry? I'm gonna eat that cherry.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. All right, everybody. We will return to backpacking content. Don't worry. It's been a month.
People like it. People like it when we talk about this type of stuff.
Some people do. Some people really don't.
Yeah. But actually,
this is what's going on in the world. Okay.
People really like the lock stream live streams. The lockdown live.
The lock stream live streams. Yeah, the lockdown live streams. No, we're not locking down anymore. But this is it. We'll be back to backpacking soon. It's shoulder season here. Okay. Like backpacking it's just wet. It's cold. It's just sucky. We went out in January. We did not go out in February.
Man, that was cold too.
We'll go out. It was the coldest backpacking we've ever done. We'll go out in March, and then in April we'll be back to our regular cadence. Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us on this Saturday. I don't know.
No. What about Brittany? Last comment.
Oh,
she's going a little.
I cannot believe the pictures she's allowed to post on Instagram.
Well, compared to all the other Instagram,
right. Like most people on Instagram get censored like immediately. Brittany doesn't care. You know, I was reading about her fiance last night randomly.
I don't know anything.
He's jacked. He looks great.
Really?
Sam something. He was a former NFL player. He's like a B-list, like a super B-list actor. I'm like, who is this dude she's with? Man, he works out. All right, everybody. Okay. Happy Saturday.
Yeah. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.